You've probably never once worried about losing fire. If your lighter runs out, you grab another. Your ancestors didn't have that option. For most of human history, if the fire died, it might not come back. In 1991, two hikers in the Alps stumbled onto a frozen body that would change everything we knew about ancient survival. His name became Utsi. He died roughly 5,300 years ago, and what he was carrying should stop you in your tracks. Utsi wasn't just carrying weapons and tools, he was carrying fire itself, packed for travel. Inside a birch bark container, researchers found charcoal and maple leaves, carefully arranged to keep embers alive for hours as he moved through the mountains. He also carried tinder fungus, prepared into a felt-like material specifically designed to catch a spark the moment he needed one. This wasn't improvisation. This was engineering. A 5,000-year-old fire starting kit, built with the same intention you'd bring to packing a phone charger before a long trip. Think about what that actually meant day to day. No flicking a switch, no backup lighter in a drawer. If Utzi's ember went cold in that container, he could be stranded in freezing alpine terrain with no way to cook, no way to stay warm, and no way to signal for help. Carrying fire wasn't a convenience, it was survival strapped to his belt. Picture the actual walk: thin mountain air, wind cutting across exposed rock. Every so often, he'd have had to check that container, maybe cup a hands around it, maybe breathe gently onto the coals the way you'd protect a candle from a draft. One careless moment, one soaking from unexpected rain, and hours of preparation could be undone in seconds. That kind of quiet, constant vigilance was just part of being alive back then. Nobody had to teach him to be anxious about it. His life depended on it. But Utsi wasn't unique. This wasn't one clever guy solving a problem alone. It was a pattern, repeated across cultures separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years. In the 1830s, a colonial chronicler named G.A. Robinson lived among Tasmanian Aboriginal communities for roughly 5 years. He documented something remarkable. It was customary, he wrote, for Tasmanian Aboriginal people to carry smoldering fire sticks with them wherever they traveled. Not matches, not flint. An actual physically smoldering stick, carried by hand, kept alive through wind, rain, and long distances on foot. Picture it. The smell of slow, constant smoke trailing behind a group as they walked. The faint orange glow at the tip of a stick, tended carefully, blown on gently to keep it breathing. No one wanted to be the person whose fire stick went cold, because starting fire from nothing, using friction alone, could take real time and real effort. Carrying the ember forward was simply smarter. It meant every new camp began with warmth already waiting. Neither of these examples happened in isolation either. They're separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, yet they land on the exact same solution. Wrap the ember, protect it from wind, keep it just alive enough to breathe back into flame the moment you need it. When completely different cultures with no contact with each other independently arrive at the same survival technology, that's usually a sign you're looking at something close to a universal human problem, solved the same way again and again, because there simply wasn't a better option. Now, here's where it gets even older and even stranger. Long before Etsi, long before Tasmania, at a site called Geser Benat Yaakov in northern Israel, archaeologist Nama Goren of Hebrew University led excavations that uncovered something almost impossible to believe. Her team, including researcher Nira Alperson-Afil, published findings in the journal Quaternary Science Reviews, showing burned flint concentrated in the exact same hearth areas across all 8 separate occupation levels of the site. This place was inhabited repeatedly, roughly 790,000 years ago. Sit with that number for a second. 790,000 years. And across every single layer of that ancient settlement, humans kept returning to the same spot to keep a fire going. This wasn't a lucky spark that happened once. This was intentional. Generation after generation, humans were maintaining fire as an ongoing project. Something inherited and protected, not something reinvented from scratch every single time. Think about everything that had to happen for that pattern to survive 8 separate occupation levels. Someone had to feed that fire every single day for it to leave a mark that deep in the archaeological record. Someone had to teach the next person how to tend it. And when that generation died, someone else had to already know how to keep it going. Because the alternative wasn't just inconvenient, it could mean starting completely over, from nothing, in a world with no other backup plan. Here's the part that should genuinely sit with you. Making fire from nothing, using friction or sparks, is hard. It's slow, it's unreliable, and in the wrong conditions, it might not work at all. So instead of constantly reinventing fire, ancient humans built an entire culture around never letting it go out in the first place. Fire wasn't just used, it was passed, hand to hand, camp to camp, generation to generation, treated less like a tool and more like a responsibility. And that instinct never actually left you. Think about how you feel when your phone battery drops below 10% on a long trip. That flicker of low-key panic. That instinct to find a charger immediately, no matter what you're doing. That's not really about the phone. That's an ancient, inherited anxiety about losing your one non-negotiable resource while you're far from home. Utsi felt a version of that exact same feeling, checking his birch bark container in the cold alpine air. Different technology, same nervous system. Even the phrase, keep the home fires burning, isn't just a saying, it's a literal memory encoded into language of a time when someone, somewhere, always had to make sure the flame didn't die while everyone else was away. We like to think of fire as something we simply have now. One switch, one lighter, endless backups, zero risk. But for the vast majority of human history, fire was never something you just had. It was something you inherited from the people before you, kept alive through your own effort, and handed forward to the people after you. No one in that chain ever really started from zero. Somewhere underneath every stove you've ever turned on, every candle you've ever lit, every campfire you've ever gathered around, there's an unbroken line stretching back tens of thousands of generations. A flame that was carried, protected, and passed forward again and again by people who understood something we've mostly forgotten. That fire was never really about warmth. It was about continuity, about making sure that whatever happened, the next fire didn't have to start from nothing. And maybe that's the real reason losing your charger in an unfamiliar place still makes something ancient inside you quietly panic. Some part of you still remembers what it actually meant to let the fire go out.